All right. I almost forgot to add myself to the stage. So, hello, everyone. It is Sunday, October 13th. And my goodness, the Eagles. That's all I'm going to say. We're not here to talk football, but I'm just going to say the Eagles. Woo! Tough. So, how is everyone doing today? I got my peanuts coffee mug. So, peanuts are actually my focus for October and maybe November as I diamond paint. I had a lot of fun with the small that I did, carolers, which I will show you guys in a few minutes at the Lone Star Retreat. Let me do some introductions first. So hello everyone. For those that are coming back, thank you for coming back. For those that are new, welcome to the channel. I'm Rochelle Blunt, aka Bling It Up. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, just so you can know when I post a video or go live. Hey, Mutt Nuts, how are you? How you doing today? Peaches and Diamonds, hello. Cynthia, how are you? Working and lurking. I hear you, girl. I need to be working and lurking. I'll tell you, I need to get myself caught up, which I will do. I prepped so much to go to the retreat, had so much fun at the Lone Star Retreat, and now I come back and I'm like, all right, I got to reset. I got to get some things done. I have too many. I'm a type A. And sometimes when I have too much to do, I just sit back and I just look at it. And I'm like, okay, let me figure out how I'm going to get this done. So, hey there, Rose. I kind of got a plan so I can get these whips finished. And I'll tell you guys, I don't like too many whips. And right now, I have too many for me. So what I've decided to do is I got to get things done before I open up another diamond painting. But that's hard. It is hard because I see something and I want to work on it and I might push something to the side. But the two paintings that I have that are very big is Native Princess and Secret Temple. Secret Temple, I started at the top of the year with Bling in the new year. Love it. Beautiful painting. It's huge. And I'll tell you, nowadays, when I first started diamond painting in 2020, I like the huge paintings, but now I'm just like, I get bored with them really quickly. They're beautiful. I want to finish it. I will finish it, but I just want to kind of like move on. So Secret Temple has been kind of pushed to the background. But once I see it, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm like, I got to finish it. So I got Secret Temple. Native Princess, I started that one for Howl at the Wolf, which was Kevin's DP wife, Erica. Her event. And it's another gorgeous painting, but it is huge. And I'm like, I love it. When I see it, I'm like, okay, I got to get started on this. And then I have my cross stitch conversion kit, which is not big at all. It's long, but it's not big, but it's slower because it's a cross stitch conversion. And I love that one too. Again, I'm going to get them done. I figured I'm going to focus on the cross stitch conversion for the rest of October when I diamond paint, because now I cross stitch. Because I cross stitch, I split my time, right? So now that I split my time, if I wasn't cross stitching, I would have them done. I know I would have them done, but now I split my time. So it's like, all right, what we're going to do here. Oh my God, can I tell you guys, my hair is a mess. I was cleaning up today, squirrel, and hair got all wet in the shower, but we'll fix that up. So long story short, got to get some of these whips done. That is my plan. 8, oh my gosh. No, 8 whips. No way. Mutt Nuts. 8 whips. Oh, you were working on 8. Now you're down to 3. So you got 5 done. That's good. Honestly, I typically only get done 4 paintings in a year, but they're normally larger paintings. I usually get done 4. I have completed a couple smaller kits this year, but don't worry, I'm going to get these big whips done. But today we are here to talk bling. Now, when I say we're here to talk bling, I got asked the question, oh my God, your canvases are beautiful, but you use so much bling. Is it necessary to use that much bling to have it look like that? And the answer is no. You can use a little, you can use a lot. It just depends on what you're looking for. It depends on the look you're trying to get from your paintings. And I can tell you this, for me, the way I did my paintings last year and the year before with bling is a little bit different than what I'm doing this year. This year, I said to myself, I'm going to limit myself because, again, the more bling I use, it takes me a little bit longer because I have to plan out the bling. As I'm going, I want to make sure the bling looks good. I start to change out the bling. That was last year and the year before. This year, I got an eye for it. I know exactly, because I've been using so much of the product, because I have so much of the product, I know exactly kind of when I look at a painting, where I want to put the bling and how I want to limit the bling. Because again, it takes me longer when I bling, because if it doesn't look right, and I can tell right away if it's not going to look right, I'll just change some things around and that takes longer, right? So again, a little or a lot. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I'm an overachiever, laugh out loud. I always have 5 or more whips at any given time. To only have 3 is crazy for me. Mud nuts, listen, you're close enough, mud nuts. You can come over here if you want some whips. You can come hang out with me and work on some of my whips. I don't have no problem with it. You're not that far. You're not 2 hours is not that bad. You're about 2.5, maybe 2.5, 3 hours. It's not that bad. We can make it work. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about bling. Now, the fun thing about bling is you can't go wrong, right? You can pick some things, play around with it. And each painting, I try to use a new bling, new color, new type, just so I can see how it works. And then I get sort of an eye for how I want to use it in future projects. Cross stitch, I'm not there yet with bling. I'm a newbie, so chronic and all those good things that give you that bling look, that's not me yet. That's Tia. But for now, diamond painting is my thing, and bling is my thing when I diamond paint. Cross stitch, I'm just sticking with the call for floss. I might change out a few colors, but other than that, no bling. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about how I select bling when I look at a canvas, when I start a canvas, how some of the things that the ideas that I have in my head as I'm doing the canvas sort of comes to fruition. And we're going to talk, hey, Lizzie, and we're going to talk bling with Sue Bell. Why? Sue Bell's the bubble queen. I don't know if you guys know, but she is the bubble queen. And she'll talk to you more about that when she comes on. But Sue has completed a couple paintings that are just absolutely gorgeous. Not only are they gorgeous, but they're huge. So they're huge. She's been able to come up with bling selections that just make these paintings gorgeous. So let me bring Sue in and we're going to talk bling. Ready, Sue? I'm going to add you to the stage. Hold on, everyone. Let's get Sue on.
Hello.
Here you are. How are you, Sue?
I'm all right.
You ready to talk bling?
I'm always ready to talk about bling.
So Sue's the one that told me, everybody, leave that bling alone. That's too much. Just stop and move on. You can finish that painting so we can work on the next one. So sometimes I need that. Right, Sue? Sometimes I need that.
Yep.
I do. Sometimes I need that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Sue. I'm going to bring her painting up. And Sue, Sue, you want to tell us where this painting is from? You know, I know, but where it's from, who it's by, and then just do what you do. Talk bling. Let me add it on. Hold on, everybody. Let me share Sue's latest creation. So let's see. We're going to do this one here. And I'll tell you, the way you see it here, and I'm sure in person, you don't really get the gist of it until you see it. So we're going to show the video in a minute, Sue. But let's just talk a little bit about this.
No, that does not do it any justice because it's gorgeous.
You want to do the video first, Sue? You want to show the video first?
It doesn't matter. Either or. We could talk about it either or.
Let's show the video first, then we're going to come back to this. So let me Let me go to the video because it doesn't do it any justice. I think the video gives us a little bit more. So hold on. Let me go here and I'll go to the Facebook group and let me find it. I think I pinned you to the top, Sue. I did. All right. So here we go. So let's bring this up. Tell me when you see it, Sue. Hold on. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it full screen. I'm going to keep you pinned.
Yep, that's full screen.
Down. I'm starting from the beginning. All right. You see it, Sue?
Yep.
Look at this, guys. That's one thing about bling. Pictures don't do them justice. You really have to see them. Unless you turn the light out and you take it at a certain angle. Look at that sky. It's gorgeous. Look at that Luna bubbles. I see them still. Look at it.
No, there's no Luna. That's
Yeah,
Oasis.
Oasis.
That's
Oasis.
Oasis. Yep.
Yeah, Oasis.
But that's bubbles in there.
Yeah, if you do Luna next to green, it looks just like Oasis. Oh, look at that. Guys, look at that. Look how
It's so
gorgeous that
big.
is.
It was really hard for me to video that one because it's so big.
I know it is big. It is a big one. Look at the sky. You did a great job in the sky.
And I actually did not do much in the sky. I did what came with it.
So, are they ABs in the sky?
No, it's Pixie.
That Pixie came with it
Yeah,
in the sky?
Pixie came. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good charting. I like that. They did a
Yep,
great job with that.
they did the Aurora Borealis. There's regular drills sprinkled in with Pixie, but it pops it because you
Yeah,
get
they
the
did a
Pixie in
great
there.
job with that. So I'm gonna go back to the picture. I know it doesn't do it justice, but we're gonna go back to it. And let me see if I make it smaller, if it gives it no.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't get,
It,
but you get
it,
the
it
gist,
was
guys, from the video, right? So too, tell us about the painting.
So this is Moonrise-Song by Abraham Hunter, and I did this for the Howl at the Moon event. Um, so when you set up yours that you were doing, what you are still doing for the event, you were like, I'm only going to do 10 enhancements. So I was like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to stick with 10. I'm going to stay with 10, right? And I did. I stayed with 10. Um, Most of my bling went into it's by DAC, by the way. I didn't say that. Diamond Art Club. Um, Most of the bling that I put in it actually was like a majority of the colors was actually in the wolf, and then it was some of the wolf colors were scattered throughout the painting.
Hmm.
Um, the bubbles in the trees, and then the thing that I love the most, the wolves came out amazing. Okay, so that was good, and most that I used with that was some pixie, some crystals. God, what else did I use?
I'm gonna
Uh,
bring up the video again while you're talking, Sue. You use Pixie and Crystal in the wolf.
in the wolf and some AB. There was a little bit of AB in there, so there was mostly pixie, crystal, and a little bit AB.
It's
But
gorgeous.
yeah,
I mean, it is really gorgeous. I mean, I can't. I gotta go back to the video because I want to show. So if you look here, right? I love what you did with the trees, but let me go back. It's one section, so I want to talk about. It's the
it's
wolf, of
probably the
course.
section that's my favorite.
The wolves look great. I love the
The
way the
woods
wolves
look
look.
amazing. So
Oh
I
my
knew I
god,
was going to put a lot of bling in that because I wanted that to be my main focus.
I love this.
But the only thing that I was sad about is the water right there. I wanted the new dark blue bubble that she has.
Here,
Yeah, that all that water down there. I
yeah.
wanted to put the big blue. I wanted to put that bubble in there. For she has a new dark bubble. T-Mall does,
Hmm.
and it she wouldn't release it in time. And I was
I
like,
know.
look, I ain't got no time to be waiting around for weeks to have this release. I need to get this thing done. So I was like, okay, I'm just rolling with it. We're gonna go without, and we're just gonna roll with it. But that dark blue bubble would look fantastic in that water.
It still
Um,
looks good though. It still
yeah,
looks good.
it does. Still looks great.
It really
Um,
does.
One of my favorite. So I didn't put no sparklers in here, by the way.
But look right here, Sue. Is this Pixie in the wolf, like
Yeah.
with the crystals? That's Pixie, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks great. I love how that looks.
Yeah.
And how it blended up in here. Oh, that looks good. Which crystal did you use? Like what did you use for crystal in here? What color? Do you remember?
I would have to hold on a second. Hold on, I'll look. Hold on. I got it written here. Hold on 1 second.
That
I
is
don't have it all
gorgeous.
memorized because I'm working on my next one. So um three so 3768 Pixie is in there.
Mhm.
Crystal 169.
Oh, that's a beautiful color. That 169, guys. Between that 169, I use that in Libra. It looks so, and it looks different depending on the colors that's around it. That looks so good. That looks so good.
Um AB 413 is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pixie Dust 415.
That's like cuter.
Yep. And then
Mhm.
Pixie 3799, I
Yep.
believe, is also in there.
That's
But my
gorgeous.
but my favorite thing about this whole painting, not beyond the wolves, okay, because there's, so I randomly decided that 3755 in the painting, which is sprinkled all over the place of that, it's like on
Uh-huh.
the top of the mountain and so
Right.
forth. I decided to go with Pearls for Square AB 3755. It took 10
Okay.
bags of it, but it I love the depth that the round drills of the AB, how it gave it brought it up even more life to it.
Yes. Yes. So is that in here?
That's, yep, that's up in
Yeah.
here.
It's
It's
gorgeous.
also
I see
down in
it.
the bottom. It's also to the
It's
it's
every,
all
I
over the
see it.
place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see it all over.
It's all throughout the painting because it
Yeah,
took 10 bags. It took
I can
10
see it.
bags of them.
Yeah, I see it all over. And it's so funny how once when you start using these, you can kind of you see them. Like I see them in the painting. I see them everywhere. They're
Yeah,
gorgeous.
and it just gave it so much depth. So looking at it between the Oasis bubbles, which is
Mm-hmm.
also like a kind of sort of round, and the Pearls for Square
Mm-hmm.
3755 I used, AB 3755. It's like, oh my God, the depth in that painting.
It looks
So,
gorgeous.
like,
And what's this
I
pop
know
of
people
green?
are afraid to put the rounds in there, but I'm telling you, do not be afraid because
Oh yeah.
it gives it so much depth,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
But
Yes, it does.
this was just an experiment for me. I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna put the AB 3755 in here. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like a pre-planned thing. It was literally as I was getting ready to do that particular color. I said,
Right.
no, let me go get this out. So I had to order some,
It
because
looks good.
the because I wanted to do the whole painting with it. So every change that I did, I actually did that whole color through the whole painting. Because
I love it.
so there's a lot of bling in there, but it's
Mm-hmm.
spread out. Even some of the colors in the wolves is in the snow and all that. So those colors are in there. That
I love it.
those bling pieces are in there.
It looks great. What's this pop of green? I'm gonna show you this pop. I see it in certain places. So I see it. Let me get to a spot. I see it like not right there. Hold on. I love it. It's a different color. I just saw it. I see it here. Is that pearls for squares? You see it here? It's like a pop.
No,
What is
it,
that there?
it might be. Wait a minute. So 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 there was some of the colors. There was some AB, some Pixie that DAC had in it. So
That
it
pop.
might have been a Pixie from DAC.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see one is another place I saw it in. I like it. It's like a glow. See it right here? It
Yeah,
gives it like a glow. I love it. It's here,
yeah,
here. See the pop? It's like a pop. Even when it's blurry, I can see it. It just
yeah.
like pops out. It gave it great color. And another thing I want to say about Pixie is Pixie is raised slightly so above the DAC drills. That's why it gives it a little bit of a different dimension. If you look at
Yeah.
Pixie Dust, is raised a little. TMOS Pixie from DP with sparklers, not
Yeah.
the Pixie that comes with, or the fairy dust, whatever they want to call it from DAC. But if you look at the Pixie drills, they're just a little bit, they're raised a little bit, and it gives it dimension, kind of like when you look at it side to side, when you raise the painting, when the painting is far away. I love it. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
So the good news is that this is my first um Bling one that I did that is actually being converted into an ES. Cheryl has already done it. So I gave her what I did. We made a couple of slight minor changes in
Mm-hmm.
what I did because some drills are have changed and I had a, you know, my own stash. So we had to flip a little bit out, but it'll still come out just, pretty nicely. One of the new changes we made
Mm-hmm.
is that, so there was 5200 AB in there, AB 5200. Well, I
Uh-huh.
removed the AB off of that. I was like, no, I'm going with Pixie because
Fix it.
I
Yeah.
thought before I got into the painting, I thought it was going to be in more places because there is a lot of snow, but it really wasn't. So, but I still removed it, and it
Right.
ended up being a lot into the skies where the little stars are. So
Ah,
what?
gotcha.
So when we talked about it, she's like, "Hey, it's supposed to be." Yeah, I said, "Yo, I changed it out to this, but now we're going to change it again, and we're going to put original sparklers up in the sky."
Oh, I love it. That's going to be gorgeous. But that's a
But I
good
didn't
point
do that because I stuck
for
to
your plan.
the 10. I said,
Yes.
10, I'm going to stick to 10. I said, and Cheryl was like, why did you stick to 10? I said, because I made a commitment with Rochelle. Because I really wish you wouldn't have done that. That's what she told me
I
yesterday.
know, Cheryl's probably like, what are you guys doing? You're limiting. But that's okay. That's okay. It looks really
But
good.
even with limiting, it really, there's so much bling still in this
Mm-hmm.
that it really, it didn't, you know, it, and I kept it budget friendly. Like the 10 bags of pearls per square, they're only a buck 50 a piece, so it's not like, you know 10
Right.
bags of something else. So I kept it pretty fairly budget friendly. So
I
like,
agree. I agree. And that's the thing, right? I tried to do that. And I said, when we were talking about it, you don't need a little, you don't need a lot. You need whatever's right for you as you're doing the painting. And
uh-huh,
then you adjust as you go. And it came out beautiful. But I can see, and Cheryl is, and everybody, we're talking about Cheryl Gearhart's and T-Ma from DP with Sparklers. And they do a lot of enhancement suggestions that work really well for people that really can't think about what kind of bling to use. I think is a great idea. It's a great concept. And the thing is, you can go out on Tma's website and pull up this particular painting once it gets out there, this enhancement suggestion, and you don't have to buy everything that's in the suggestion. You might want to say, okay, well, I want to use 5. You pick the 5 you want to use, but they give you a layout. Here's the product, and here's where you put it, and that's free. They do that for free. You can download that. Or you can just hit the one button and everything for that particular suggestion, enhancement suggestion, will go into your cart, which I think is a great feature to have. I really do. It makes it easy for people when they're trying to go buy bling. Because sometimes navigating, people get frustrated and just, I don't feel like doing it and just don't buy. So I do think it's a great suggestion, it's a great feature to have on the site. I really do. I design my own bling, but I use all of DP with Sparklers products. I love the products. I've been buying them for 4 years. No, 3 years. I didn't start buying them until 2021. And I kind of just said them. I didn't use them until 2022. I've been blinging for 2 years and I absolutely love it. So your favorite part of the painting, Sue, is what?
the
The
pearls
mountain?
per square that I put in at the round. So
I
like,
love Fortress
like if
Squares.
you really wanted to go really cheap budget, you could just put the Oasis bubbles like I did.
Mm-hmm.
It literally took like a bag and a half, so you would have to buy two. And that in itself, I mean, look at my trees. That in itself, when you left everything else the same, would have still
Mm-hmm.
turned out gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Like you
That's
could
right.
do very little and have a very pretty, painting.
Love it. Great job, Sue. I love it. All right. So again, this is all about a little or a lot. So Sue didn't use a lot of colors. She may had to buy X amount, but she didn't use a lot of colors. She used 10. To some people, that might be a lot. I always tell people, do you want minimum bling, 1 to 3 colors? You want kind of in the middle, 4 to 6, or you want more than that. And you don't need to put a lot. You might need a little bit of whatever makes it sparkle for you. And you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So we're going to switch. So Stu, you hang out here. We're going to switch a bit.
All right.
Stay with me. And I'm going to pull up. So I did a small painting. And the small painting I did is called, I just put it in my book here, Carolers by DAC. It's the Peanuts, right? And I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. And I took that to the Lone Star Retreat because I wanted to try and do something. Sue knows I'm a talker. I don't finish anything at retreats.
I was shocked
Nothing.
if you finished something.
I don't finish anything. But I said at this retreat, you know what? I'm going to take something small that I can finish. Last year, I took a painting. I didn't start it until the day before we were getting ready to leave. I think we had one day left. And I started it that night before. And I did half of it. And then I did the rest when I came home. But check this out, guys. Let me show you. I'm going to stop sharing that. Let me show my painting. And I'll give you guys a little bit about what I did. So let me pull it up here first. And it was a lot of fun. It was a
And
lot
I'm
of
going
fun.
to tell you because I know, because I troll her all the time about it at retreats when I'm with Rochelle. And I'll be like, I have 2-3 sections done. And Rochelle will barely have anything done on one section. And she's like, I'm going to be sitting down. I'm going to be doing it. And then I'll come back and she ain't did much.
Nothing. Because I'm a talker. That's what I do. I have a lot of fun at retreats. Some people like to go there and kind of just sit and do their thing. I like to get to know everybody. I like to, scroll the room, just see what I love looking at people's projects. I really do. I like looking at others' projects. So here we go. So here's the painting that I took to the retreat, right? So it is called Carolers, DAC. Now, I said to myself, I don't want to change more than 5 or 6 colors. And I'm probably going to I always use original sparklers in all my paintings, whether it's a little or a lot. I just do. It just gives it a pop for me. And I said, I'll probably do another S for S. Let me think of which one I want to do. And I wasn't sure, but I picked Sweetheart. Now, and I did this before I left. This is what I do with all my paintings. And if you guys watched my Native Princess YouTube, how I did my bling there, what I do is I lay the canvas out. I look at the canvas and I kind of think about what colors I want to use, what bling I want to use. I pull that bling out. I sit it on my canvas. And then I say, all right, do I want to do a little? Do I want to do a lot? Here, I want to do a little. It's a small painting. I'm like, I don't want to do much. I knew right away that I was going to replace all that white with Pixie 5200 right away. That's what I said. Boom. I know that right away. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to go with Pixie throughout this whole painting. I'm not going to go with crystals. So I decided to just do all Pixie. And in this picture, you can see what I used. I used Pixie 959. And I use that for what I'm calling the caroler sheets, right? Which is these little sheets or books that they're holding. I'm going to use Pixie 740. And Pixie 740, of course, is going to go on this sweater. I just use kind of colors that match because I didn't want to think too much about it. I didn't want to change too many colors. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to use 718 and her sweater. And I said, oh, when I was looking at her sweater, her hair popped for me. And I was like, well, I'm going to put some original sparkler in there. And then her shoes, I'm going to put some original sparkler in her shoes. And then I said to myself, all right, 931, I'm going to use that I was going to use it for the top of her shoes here. It's like her socks. And I'm going to use it for his pants, right? That was the first thing I said I was going to do. And then if you look up here with Snoopy, I said, okay, I'm going to actually put some original sparkler in his hat. I'm going to use those same Pixie colors up here because they're the same colors. So this green here, same colors, right? It's all right. That's a good plan. That's what I'm going to take. And I only took, let me think. I took another one with me. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it, but I took it, right? Still in the Pixie family. And remember, original sparkler as well as Sweetheart, S for S. So Pixie 444, I'm going to use that in Woodstock. And that's regardless of what colors that DAC gave me. That's what I said I was going to use. So now, all right, I put them in my small art guide, right? This one only had, 8 colors? Not a lot of colors at all. It had like a little bit more than that, 10, 12. It had 12. So I put it in here. And when I do my bling, I usually, if I'm going to replace the color, I would replace the pixie in the actual container. But this is a small painting. I was like, I don't need to do that. So I just put them here. Right. So here are all the colors we talked about. So I added one. Which one did I add? No, one, two. No, I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There they are. All right. Now, original sparkler and sweetheart. So original sparkler, right? Love original sparkler. It just, if you wanted something to just pop and you're not sure what to use original sparkler. And then I said, I'm going to use sweetheart. So sweetheart almost gives you the same look as clear, right? So original sparkler gives you a lot of color. If you look at clear, it still gives you sparkle, but without the color. Sweetheart gives you the clear with a hint of color. So I'm going to use that. Now here we go. So here's how it looks. And look who we got. Look who we got. Hey, Tia. All right.
Hey, everybody.
Now let me show you guys what we have. So now I'm going to pull that one down and I'm going to show you what this looked like. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys a video. Let me see that I put the video in here. Let me show you guys the video first. So I'll show the video because I think it really gives you a glimpse of how the painting looked. Let me do movie player and then I will get you guys. Let me download it. It's coming. All right, let me share this screen so you can see it. All right, this is just something I put out on Instagram. I know I have a video somewhere, but I'll find it in a second. But check this out. Right, it gives you just a gist of how it came out. So let me start this from the beginning. All right, so remember, I said I was going to only use a few. So if you look at those little, we'll call them snowflakes, or it's snow, so these snow falling, right? DAC had black around it, which I kept at the top, and I'll show you guys some still pictures in a second. I said, you know what? I'm going to put sweetheart around this snow, not black. And I'll stop it. I use charms. So I decided to take some charms. I'm like, I got to throw some charms in here because I want to see how I can make these charms look in the snow. And I'm going to try and make snowflakes. So remember, all the colors I told you guys I was going to use, I used. I did the pixie in the sweaters, pixie in the hat, pixie, and I'm going to call it the caroling sheet, pixie in the hat, the pixie blue in the pants, right? Now, here's something very interesting. When we talk about Snoopy and we talk about the snow, okay? And I'm going to pull up another picture because I want you guys to see this. Here's something that snagged me a little bit. It snagged me, and I'm going to tell you why. But I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. Holy crap. Hold on now. All right, I got to change this out. Check this out. I'm going to tell you why it snagged me. And you guys will get it. You'll be able to see it when I show you. Now, here's why it snagged me. Check this out. So I knew right away, Pixie 5200, right? But DAC used 3765. So I said I was only going to do Pixie 5200, like in Snoopy. I was going to kind of mix it in down the bottom with the snow. But 3765 is cream. Look right here. You got like 2 different colors in the snow. But I had to go back and blend it. Because I was like, wait a minute. I had a hard stop one night. So I was using 5200 and I stopped it. But when I came back the next day, I was using 3765.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, Cheryl, take a look at this. And Cheryl was like, what's going on right there? She knew right away. She knew right away. She was like, what's going on right there? And I was like, and then my eyes drew to it. And I was like, what in the world? I mean, literally, it was a hard stop in the middle of that snow. This was all white over here, and this was cream over here. Cheryl saw it right away. She was like, what's going on right here? And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I went over here, right? Remember, I'm talking. What's going on? We partying, we dancing. I'm like, yeah, I'm drilling. I'm having a ball, right? Tia, oh, hey, Tia, what you got? I'm going to town. I picked up 5200. I picked up 3765. Right? Because my plan, once I saw how good Soupy came out, I was like, I'm going to do the white all at the bottom. But guess what? So it was a Z 3865. It looked white. when you look at it, it looks white. But guess what? 5200 and 3765, two different colors. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back, Cheryl, and I'm gonna blend it in. She was like, yeah, you do that, right? She knew it right away though. And that's the thing. When you're looking at Bling all the time, you get the colors in your head. So then I went and I just pulled some up and I just mixed it. Because when do you ever see snow all the same color? Usually when it first falls. But once people start walking in it, you get different colors, right? You get, a little bit of dirt here, a little bit of salt there, all kinds of different, things in the snow. So then I blended it and I was like, holy moly, right? I didn't pay attention to it. Now look when I get you closer. Like you guys might not be able to see it, but see in here is a different color.
You can see it, yeah.
Different color. It's a different color. But I had all that color on one side and all the other on the other side. So again, you change things as you go, right? You change things as you go and look at the charms. And the charms in here kind of like, look, right in here. I was like, what in the world? But I fixed it. I just went back and I started pulling some up and I blended it and I just let it. No one else could see it, but Cheryl knows Bling. So she right away. And I was like, thank goodness. Because when I stepped back, I was like, whoa, I got coffee on my painting. Trying to wipe it up. But this was a lot of fun. And if I show you over here, right? Let me show you something. So I decided to do a little bit of customization only because I was in Texas. I was at the Lone Star Retreat and I cross-stitched now, right? And I was working on a sampler that was letters and numbers. So I just took my cross-stitch pattern and I put my initials on the canvas. That's all I did here. But up here, what I did was I used these charms. And in here, this is Pixie 5200 with Sweetheart, not Original Sparkler. And there is a difference, right? If you look at Snoopy, Snoopy has some color in his hat, and it's hard to see here. I'm going to show you guys the painting. He has Original Sparkler in here, so it gives it some color. But if you go to here, there's really no color. Sweetheart is like a little hint of pink, like a little bit of pink. And if you look at her, Lucy, I think, this is Lucy. If you look at her shoes, she has Original Sparkler in it. So I didn't use a lot, right? It's just how I put it in, and it was a lot of fun. And if you want to see it in person, right? And I'll show another video, but it was a lot of fun doing this. This was a lot of fun. I can tell you that. And I said to myself, that was a good one for me because again, I didn't use a lot.
I like how you started and finished during the retreat.
Yeah.
So we bring projects where we're going to kit up, or we bring projects where they're whips and we hope to finish them. But very few of us start and finish anything that we bring to the retreat. So kudos there.
Deborah always did.
Really, Deborah does have quick hands.
Yes, she does. I don't know how she would do a whole big one.
She would do a bigger one. That would be huge, and she would do. But she sits and she's dedicated, and she's a plucker, and so she plucks along. I like pluckers. They hear everything.
She was still.
That's what I always tease her about. Like, ooh, girl, I know you could tell some stuff because she will sit there and she will pluck.
You will pluck.
From the time that it starts, she'll go to the meals, and when she comes back, she's back plucking. And so I always tease her. I know you got the tea.
Yes. And I want to mention one thing because Sue brought it up. Some people do have a problem with putting round on a square canvas.
Yeah.
But if you look here, you do get a little bit of space, but trust me, nobody's up. See the little bit of space here? If you're looking right at the canvas like this, yes, you're going to see it. But if that canvas is back and it's sitting down, you can't see it. You really can't. And some people go through the whole measure of putting mica powder in there to hide it. I don't. None of my paintings. And honestly, no one has ever said to me, is that a round on the square painting? Because you don't see it when you look at the painting in totality. But I'll tell you this, look at this. I pushed this up because I wanted to show you guys. That's a different color than that. That's that Z3865 versus Pixie 5200. But I love the Pixie 5200. It looks good. But I mean,
hey, I'm like working on a Dreamer Design, an old one from them, and there's so much gapping in it, and then like I put the drills on straight, and so I'm like freaking out of, not really freaking out, but just I
It's
see all the
noticeable when
gapping,
you're working on it.
even
Yeah.
with the lights off. It's like, oh my god, how bad it was. But this is a really old, you
Because
know.
they've changed. They've changed. They've improved, just like DAC. They've improved the quality of their canvases, their drills, and Tia can probably talk more about it because I know Tia's an affiliate for the
This was
Dreamer.
not a dish against Dreamer Design. I know it was an old kit, but I was sitting there thinking to myself, "Oh my God,
Hello,
why is it
Yvette.
not tightened? Why is it not tightened? Why didn't they tighten the grid a little bit to make sure it fits a little bit snug? And it's
And I
just
don't
like,
know if you guys have noticed, but DAC tightened their grid.
yeah,
So you gotta be careful because them drills start popping. I don't know if you noticed it, but they've
I like
tightened.
I don't have mine don't have to be super tight because I feel like there is just some breathing time and then how you store them.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have more popping grids popping drills the tighter
You,
that grid
Marsha?
gets. So if you're someone who after a complete, you're gonna, outward roll, make sure the diamonds face outward. But you're gonna roll
Yep.
and store, especially if you store in the tubes, the portrait tubes. Then you're gonna want to have, I don't want to say too loose, but there needs to be some give in the grid to allow for that. People swap out paintings over time. They may change seasonally. So what do you do with the paintings if you're
Mm-hmm.
swapping them out to hang out something else? So I think there is, some good purpose behind having, a looser grid, and allowing for it because you don't notice the gapping. You only see it when you're actually working on it. Even if you're doing full
True.
squares, you're not going to notice it. But if it's too tight, like some of my earlier China paintings, the drills just popped. They just popped. We already
Yeah.
had the issue with the horrible glue and the nibs and things on the diamonds. The diamonds being, they weren't all set at the same, I don't know, thousandth of a millimeter. So some appeared larger than others for the same grid size.
Mm-hmm.
All of that caused popping drills, not to mention the nib on the side of a diamond. So I do think that these are all, the newer ones. They've done some tremendous jobs. We're talking about the newer companies, tremendous, job in listening to the feedback and making sure they made those improvements. I don't know
That's
if they
right.
need to improve it too much, because I do need to store a painting once I'm finished with it. They're not all going up on the. I don't have a lot on the walls, in here. I tried to hang this one right here 3 or 4 times. That's why you see it down there on the side because it keeps falling. I always staple mine
Mm.
to an actual canvas, and then I hang it on command hooks. But I guess it's too heavy.
That's the one that got all that bling on it.
Yeah,
Because the
that's the one
bling
with all the
changed
blade.
the weight. Yeah, the bling change. And the one thing I want to say, like this one, I used bubbles too. I didn't even put that I used bubbles. I used Luna, and I used it when I made my snowflakes because I wanted it to have a different color than the snow. So Luna brings in a different color. So that's that circle, that little teardrop is what I call it, right? And
yep,
again, because I use so many different types of drills,
It's
it
heavier.
works. I
Yeah.
make the grid work. And how I got this home, because I flew. I flew home from Texas, right? I put this in between in my suitcase. I laid it flat and I put a silicone mat on top of it. I had two
Okay.
of them. That's how I did it. And then I laid my clothes right on top of it.
So
Period.
yep.
what do you find the best for using a silicone mat? I've never used one.
So I use silicone mats because I'm all over the canvas most of the time. And the silicone mat, remember guys, release papers have silicone on the back of them, right?
Mhm.
The silicone mat does not stick in the glue. I like to pull my plastic up and I like to see the canvas. So again, when I was at the retreat, I pulled my plastic off. Like one whole section at the bottom. I knew I was going to complete that in 1 hour. So I just put the silicone mat over top, but I needed to see it. Like I need to see it. So don't get me wrong, release papers are great, but I like to see it because I want to see as I'm putting my bling down. So I use it so my arm, my clothes doesn't get stuck into my, and also my pins don't roll off. And now I have something that Tia made so my pen does not roll. But again, yes, oh Tia, that is so cool. I love that. But that's what I use it for. I sit my pins down on it because I always load up about 3 pins, and I usually have about 4 trays, depending on the colors that I'm working with. I usually put my bling in the trays and put whatever bling I'm using inside the tray. That's just me. I like to be able to just pick up. I don't like to keep pouring in and out, in and out, in and out. So the silicone mat works for me because I just put it over the whatever part of the canvas I'm not working on.
And the other thing good for silicone mat, using the silicone mat, is that like some of the release papers by some of the people, I'm not saying any specific person, but it's hard, you can only use the one side, and if you screw up, or one company I used at one point, and I'm not going to name them, actually stuck to my canvas and I had it on the right side. So you will never have to worry about with silicone. It will not stick to your canvas. Like,
That's good. Another thing, if I drop the
release
drill,
papers are nice, and I'm not trying to diss release papers. I'm just saying that is a cheaper way to go. And it, and it's actually better. You could get a roll of it and make your own release papers or whatever.
So Marsha, I got this from Walmart. It was $3. Walmart, Target, they're like $3. I think I got a pack of 2 for like $5.25. They usually come rolled like this.
Yep.
I got mine from Target. I got the red one. I have a small red one from Target. It was like $1.75. They usually come rolled, and I got 2 of them for like $5. Yep. You can probably get them on Amazon. Another thing, if you drop drills, they stick right here. They're not going anywhere. They stick right on here. Don't get me wrong, trying to get them off sometimes, you're like, oh. But I'll pick them off with tweezers right from here and put them on my canvas. So again, it's multi-purpose, but I love them. But getting at home, I just roll it. I just put it flat, put it in my suitcase, and put my clothes on top, and it was fine. Because you guys remember the pressure of when you go up in the airplane. If you don't have your drills in proper storage, they will pop. The bottles will pop open. They'll be all over the place. Mm-hmm. And it could actually, I was thinking about, will that happen to my canvas? No, it shouldn't happen to the canvas, but certain containers will pop open. And where I got that from using a silicone mat was the very first retreat in Ohio, the Great Lakes retreat. And it was from, I can't think of her name. She was sitting right when you come in, and she had them. So at retreats, I learned things. Yeah. And I asked her, what is that? And she said, oh, it's a silicone mat. Using release papers or in addition to, and that's where I got it from. So I didn't just magically come up with it. I got that from one of the pioneers in the diamond painting community. I can't think of her name, Tia. She had beautiful white hair. I'll get it. Yeah, she was at the first retreat. As soon as you walk in the door, she was at the first table.
Is that Mary Minor?
That might have been her. Mary, yes. I think that was her. I got to look her up. But she was at the very first table. She was next to, who was she sitting next to? Maybe Karen. But again, the point is I learned things at retreats. And that's something that I learned, and I took that away, and it's one of the best things ever. And I still use release papers as well. I do.
Good suggestion. I do like that.
Good suggestion. So again, this was just all about, do I do a little? Do I do a lot? It's whatever, whatever you feel. But I can tell you this, if I'm not sure what I'm going to use and I want to bling something out, I just go with original sparklers. I will go with original sparklers in a hot minute, and I will sprinkle it around, and it will always look gorgeous. But try some of the big bling.
That's my go-to also, original sparklers. I do use, because I like to highlight lights, like in windows, candle lights, street lights, lamp posts. I do use pineapple sparklers.
So yes, I love them.
Mm-hmm. So those are
pineapple glow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the pineapple glow. Yep, the pineapple glow. That's catchy, Sue.
Yeah,
you know that's catchy.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things for me. I hit to a period of time in a day, and I just start that, and then the next thing is like, oh God, I should have took a nap earlier.
So you already know. You can leave anytime. You can come anytime. It's up to you.
No,
I'm
no,
listening,
no,
guys.
no. It has nothing to do. I'm not taking a nap now. I'm telling you right now. I can't. The game's ready to start, or it has just started. So no, I'll be all right in a few minutes.
Good, good. But I'll tell you guys this: if you want to try something different, try some of the big bling. Like I like charms. So what I like about charms is it takes up 16 spaces. So I was like, oh, I'm going to throw some charms in here. So this is a charm, and it took up 6 square spaces. And all I did was put a little bit. These remember, DHP had black around these snowflakes. I took Sweetheart. See, Sweetheart doesn't give you as much color as the original Sparkler, but it still gives you a pop. So I did that with my 5200. But I love the charms that come from DP with sparklers. I love them. I
Wow.
mean, they just do something for the painting. They really do. They're good. I like them. I like if I can take up more spaces than 2 or 3, I'm using them. I said now every painting I do from now on, you will see charms. You will see
Just
charms
go
in them.
out. Yeah.
There's a
Just
lot of
own
different
it.
charms.
Making
Oh,
it your own. I love that.
I love it. I love it.
I
It
like
gives
to
it.
see when I look at diamond paintings and I'm looking at customized, portions of it where people have blinged it out. I love to see depth. I like to see where, it makes me wonder, is this two pieces? Did they snap something? I love to see that. So if that's something that, we could come up with a formula for, that would be, beautiful. So I've
Yeah.
seen the belts that Honey Bunny did. That's J Rob. She did the Wonder Woman belt and she swapped out. A lot of people don't swap out 310s because it already gives you a pop. But she swapped it out for I think a Raven metallic, and it
Mhm.
immediately pops. It looks like it can be taken off of the canvas, and that's
Yeah.
something that I love to see. I love to see depth in items like objects and things like that.
Yes.
I think someone interviewed an artist from Treasure Studio, or her name was Elaine something, and she did like all these seaside beach scenes in her artistry and stuff. And for me, when I first started, I didn't major in art or anything. I took art class elementary, junior high, and high school. Every time we could offer it, and then I took art literature in college just to better understand the phases, surrealism and things like that. Um, One of the things that I like about art the most is that it shows you perspective.
Yep.
Perspective is what it looks like when you can actually see, in I guess the right form. So if you see a road, you know, kids see things one dimensionally. And then when we put it on paper, it's two dimensional. But it's hard for them to observe the actual lines of the road and how the building should be as you walk along it. And to be able to see it in perspective means you can see like everything's coming to a point down the way. It looks like you're looking off into the horizon. And none of her
Hmm.
paintings had that, but she kept talking about creating in perspective. And
Right.
so one of the things that I thought was it was really great was when she put depth on the painting, and just adding depth gave it perspective. So it looked like it was a bunch of random buildings and things like that. But then she sat an item in, like an object or something in, and it looked like you could pull it out. But that one
Yes.
item in there helped it happen. And so that's what I like to see when I see people customize it. I'm always looking for their depth. I think Sue is the one that has elevated to that level. Like what she's doing with her
Mhm.
trees and leaves and things like that. I feel like, I could feel the
Movement.
branches. They're
Hmm.
exactly movement, and it looks
Yes.
like they were placed on the canvas. That's hard to do when you're coming up with that creativity on your own, but it comes
Hmm.
from just getting tips, seeing what people are doing, and then practicing it, and
Trying.
yep, trying it out and getting great at it. So I do think that you did a good job on that. I remember practicing movement. I like to see breeze. You can't see breeze two dimensionally, but I tried and I felt like I did a good job. Obviously, you have to turn your head because painting is not going to do it, but
Right.
it
Hmm.
took a lot, trying to practice, seeing that. So I do respect that you guys are out here playing with these diamonds, giving us different ways to look at them, showing up and showing them on your canvases, because it gives me new insight, to add to things that I'm trying to do in the future.
So not to interrupt you or anything, Tia, but you weren't here earlier for the showing my wolf painting. And in that one, I added depth, not to just bubbles. There is bubbles in there on the tree. So the depth is on the bubbles of the tree, but I also added depth throughout using pearls per square. And you actually can see it like it brings everything around the wolves alive. And it's almost like you're in the midst of the, you know, of the field.
It does,
Um,
yes.
that they're standing in. Like there's a lot of depth in that this painting by me doing it, and I used pearls to squares 10 bags through this whole thing because it's a big painting, and it was
Mhm.
spread out, and it was like, okay, looks really nice. See, it's up there on the top of the mountain. There's pearls for square in there.
Look at that.
Uh,
It's
so
beautiful.
there's a lot of depth.
Gorgeous.
There's a lot of like that mountain there on the top looks really real, and looking at it in person, like sometimes when you put bling in, the best way to see the bling and really get a good perspective of what you've done is videoing it. Taking a picture does not do it any justice.
Agreed.
Correct.
Agreed.
Talk about
It
the
doesn't.
viewfinder. Yep, that looks so amazing. And
Doesn't look so
like
good.
it's popping right off the canvas. I mean, a great job. She sent me a video of the other corner, the top left corner. But
Love
it's
it.
just gone on to be so much more. Look at that.
I love it.
And that's what, I think after a while when we're diamond painting and stuff, that's how we make it our own.
Yep.
We start to customize, we add that sparkle, and we kind of make the canvas, the way that we want to look at art. I love that.
Didn't it come out so good?
Hmm.
But the deal is like if you really want good depth, it's actually using round in a square diamond painting will give
Yeah.
you the best depth ever, and you won't even have to try that hard.
That's good.
Agreed.
That's good.
Agreed.
I
And
do
I'll
know that it intimidates people. They see them coming here. Oh, you gave me the wrong ones.
yeah.
No, no, just go
But
with
they
it.
changed.
Go with
Listen,
it.
they
Let's go
changed
with
that
it.
painting. Hey, Diamonds and Decaf, but they changed the whole look of your painting. They really
Yes.
do. They look so good.
Like
That's just like the Libra,
the
right?
Oasis, there was no lighter green in it, so I just took the lightest green in the
Mm-hmm.
trees and said that's what I'm doing, and I replaced it, and I just went with it. I didn't
And it's
even think
gorgeous.
twice about it. I was like, they're gonna fall where they're gonna fall, and actually it came out really nice.
It really did. And that's just like my thing when I do paintings is I like to put designs in paintings. That's been my thing for the last, I'm going to say year. I always do some kind of design, whatever the vocal point is. And that just put a signature for me on what I do. I try to make it my own by putting a design. And it doesn't make a difference what the painting looks like. As soon as I look at it and I'm like, ooh, that pops for me, I'm going to do a design. And you don't really see it until I point it out. You don't really see it. Like on Libra, you don't really see it until I point it out. And I'm like, look at the top of the Libra scale. And you're like, oh, you don't, because you're not looking for it, right? You just look, oh, that looks so sparkly. That looks so good. But when you see it in person or I slow it down, you're like, oh my goodness. Same thing with the sword, right? So Sue, you were with me when I was doing that,
Yep,
right?
I was watching you do it. Yep.
I'm like, Sue's like, what are you doing? Because I just opened up the middle of the painting. I did the sword first.
And
So
it stands out and it shows power. And that's something
mhm,
that, I feel the pearls mixed with some of the glow glass, but the bubbles, I feel like they show power on a canvas. Like that's what I
mhm.
was trying to do with my belt. It did not show depth, although I thought it would, but it does look like, a source, like a something dangling in the air and it's just hanging there, with nothing attached to it. And it's got a power that's setting it from the scene behind it or something. That's what I feel like you did with your sword. It's just
That's
sitting there
right.
as a
And
power piece.
Tia, what you did with that painting behind you, and I'm sitting here looking for the video too, was amazing. And I'm looking for it because we're gonna close with it. I have to show it.
I think I sent it to you a while ago.
I have it. I have it. Don't worry, I'm finding it now while you guys are talking. But I love
But
what Sue, and this is not the first painting that I love of Sue. Sue has a couple other ones that I'm like, Sue, you
And you
got
know,
it.
and I'll be real honest, I'm a freaking beginner. I haven't even done this for a year. Like
That's
I
right.
am still new at blinging. Like I ask Rochelle all the time, like, what do you think about this? You know? And then this one right here, I was just like, I'm rolling with whatever I'm rolling with. And I'm gonna do it the way, just gonna roll with it. I didn't even ask Rochelle's opinion about any of it. I was just like, I'm gonna roll. I'm just rolling with it. I'm going.
But that's the thing. We have each other to bounce things off of. So everybody out in the audience, you have us, right? If you want to know something, go out on the Facebook group, put a question out there. I'd be more than happy to come in and give you my opinion or what I think would look good. But we bounce things off of each other. And I think that's
mhm.
pretty cool, right? That's what
I,
makes it.
I will be at Mingle. Marsha, I will be at Mingle in the mitten. I will be there.
There you go. And I'm going to find Tia's. I think I have it right here, Tia. Let me just make sure. Because I got a lot of videos in here. I want to make sure I hit the right one. I'm going to show Tia's and then we're going to wrap up. But Mingle in the Mitten, yes, you'll be there. So if anyone is there and needs some help, your girl will be there.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
bubble
just come
paper.
up and ask me. I help all the time. Like I just taught a Bling class last month. People how to teach people how to bling. And I was like helping them base, like just go small. Like don't start big. Just do something. Like throw an extra pixie in there as a start. Like hey, I'm gonna swap it. Say you have 5200, right? I'm gonna put 5200 pixie in it instead, and just roll with it. And just, I mean, one change, and you'd be surprised. Like in snow, using 5200 pixie in snow. Oh my God, it is it takes it to the next level. And
It's
that's all
gorgeous.
for a whole painting. I'm telling you, you've added something to it.
That's right. Now I'm going to find Tia's and I'm going to put it out on the Facebook group because Tia, you must have sent it to me with somebody else, maybe me, you, and Cheryl or something, team up. But long story short, guys, I'm going to put it out there because you got to see Tia's. Tia's is gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. That painting that's behind her. You take a look at that. I think you put a lot of movement in that as well. I mean, it just looks so real. It looked like somebody took a picture of like a queen or something out in the swamp. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to show you guys one more thing. And this is a still picture of a painting that I did that I got framed. I'm going to show you guys this and then we're going to wrap up. But this is Saint. And I think I didn't finish this at the retreat, at the Great Lakes retreat, but I bought this to the Great Lakes retreat. And I worked a lot on sort of using specialty drills on this one. And I think it came out amazing. So let me show you guys that one and then we'll wrap up. Take a look at this. And I'm going to put all these out on the Facebook group. So if you guys want to go take a look later, I'll bring in Tia's. And again, pictures don't do it justice, but this painting here is Saint by Dakota, right? And if you take a look at just a regular painting, you'll get a gist. But a couple things I just want to point out in here. So I played around, and you can't really see it in here because pictures don't do it justice. I played around with all these specialty crowns and quads, slivers. This is the painting where I said to myself, I want to figure out how to use these. So my point is, to figure out how to use things, you got to use them. Yep. Right? You just got to pick a painting and you just got to use it. And this is when I said, I'll never use 310 again because I like the way Raven and charcoal looks. That's just me, right? But 310, you need it on some paintings because it makes the other colors around it pop, right? I like doing paintings that have a lot of 310 in them, especially when I'm talking, because I know I'm not going to go wrong. And I know everything that I want to bling will be outside of the 310. It just makes it pop. And I use metallic silver. People were like, on a horse? I did. I use metallic silver on here, but it just looks like glistening water when you look at the picture. But it's metallic silver. And in this painting is where I really started to use bubbles. This is where I said to myself, I want to play around. I have 5 or 6 different kind of bubbles, and you can't really see it in the picture. That's when I start playing around with bubbles to say, hey, let me see how these bubbles work. And that's when I realized bubbles give you movement. Because if you look at this painting, it really looks like the water is moving. And if you
Yep.
come in and you're tired, you be like, oh, that painting is moving, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. So again, just try things, try different things. Just open it up
I mean, me looking at
and
it, I'm
try.
telling you, it looks like it's moving. Like
Oh
you
yeah, in
showed me a
person,
real picture of water flowing down.
it's gorgeous.
Down. Yeah.
And this is 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. So again, it's all about. But Tia, I want to put yours out on the Facebook group because I think it's amazing. Yours is already pinned out there, Sue, and I'll pin Libra out there because Libra looks really, really good. So Sue, before we let you go, you want to tell anybody anything? Any parting thoughts?
Any parting thoughts? Um, just don't be afraid to try something. Throw a few of the drills down. If you don't like it, you can always take them back up. Do a small little area and go, oh, wait a minute. I don't like how that looks beside each other. Let me try something else. There's no right way and there's no wrong way. It's all about what you like for yourself.
Yeah.
I agree. Anything from you, Tia?
Just have fun. Have fun. Use your creative side. Sparkle bling. That's what initially caught our eye in the first place. We saw a finish. We saw a painting and we love the sparkle. Oh, that's so sparkly. Ah. So just have fun with it, and make it your own. Obviously, it's nice to have others to kind of get ideas and tips from, but have fun. That's the most important thing because you will appreciate it so much more.
I agree. I agree. And I'm just gonna do one plug only because I get my products from DP with Sparklers. There's a lot of places you can get your products from, right? There's no right, no wrong. But the one thing that Tima and Cheryl have really, I think, done an amazing job with are the enhancement suggestions. I really think they did an amazing job there because sometimes people just don't know what to buy, how to buy it. But if you go out to DP with Sparklers, okay, and there's this ES at the top, and you go to enhancement suggestions and you will have a list, right? You will have a list and it's different paintings from different companies. You find your painting here, you click it, and it will give you a list of products. Not only does it give you a list of products, right? It also tells you where on the canvas to put it, which is just awesome. Okay. Now, some will give you a little bit more information than others, but the good thing is you can buy a little, one or two, or you can buy all seven that you see, or all six, or all 10, or all 15, etc. But I really do think they've done an amazing job there. They've given people the ability to not only go out and see, you can print this, you can download it, you can do whatever it is you want to do, which I think is just awesome. Okay. So again, if you go out to DP with Sparklers and you hit ES at the top, you'll get a list of paintings. And those list of paintings are here. And then once you click on it, it will give you more information. Okay. It'll give you information of products that they're picking for that particular painting. And it'll give you suggestions on how to use it, which is the next page down. So, guys, go on out there, try it. I hear you, Marsha. Again, I would just say pick a couple colors and just throw them in. Throw them in wherever you think sees fit. Just throw them in, and you will learn what you like, what you don't like, and then what you like, kind of write it down, and just go painting the painting and keep adding until you get it to the point where you love it. Sue with Oasis with Bubbles. Period. Bubbles in general. She figured it out. Just working on paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Figured it out. So.
But, I was going to say one parting word too is like when you listen to uh things like this, make notes to yourself. Oh, Rochelle says, bubbles are good for movement. So you write down bubbles, movement, and then you say trees, water, etc. Right? So you have a general idea, like what's that good for? Like, we said 5200 pixie in snow. Very, it's better than AB. Like I will remove AB and put 5200 pixie will give you a lot better looking snow than you with without the AB 5200. So I mean, just little things like that. Make little notes of what people are saying, and then
Mm-hmm.
experiment and try. And then, oh, I like that. Oh, maybe I want a little bit more bling. So maybe I will, mix it up a little bit with some of the ABs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But just
That's
like
right.
make little notes, what you think, what people tell you, what you hear others saying when they are blinging, why they're doing it, and making those notes. And eventually you'll be like, oh, now I understand all that. Now I'm not afraid to go drop this in here and there and just try. There's
That's
nothing
right.
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
But I,
right.
I listen to people all the time and make notes.
No, I appreciate that. And me too. Like I'll look at the painting, I'll be like, so what did you use there? Oh, I like that. That looks good. Right?
Yep.
Hey, what did you use there? That looks good. So and sometimes you might look at it and say, I don't like the way it looks. Trust the process and keep putting drills down. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you need other drills around your blend so you can really
That's
see
true.
it pop. So you can
That's
really
a valuable lesson that I learned. You definitely, you're always looking for the pop, but it does have to pop off of something. It has to play against something. So I I learned that. That was very important for my conversion, because I had decided I wanted to make the background pop. And then when I put down the regular resin drills, I just was like, oh, what did I do? But as I continued to go, it really did start to come together. So, like she said, just continue, and it
Trust
does
the
look
process.
nice.
trust the process.
That's
All
the
right.
Trust
process.
the
So
process.
trust the process. So thank you for joining us on a Sunday. It is time to wrap it up. So guys, in my opinion, there's no wrong way. Just have fun with it. And guess what? If you make a mistake, only you know. Nobody knows. So have fun. But just remember, my opinion is always good when you bling it up. So I appreciate you guys spending some Sunday time with me. Sue, see you. Thanks for coming
Always,
on.
girl, always.
All right. So
Thanks for having
everybody
me.
enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right,
Bye
you too.
bye.
All
All
right,
right.
bye.
Bye everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye.